He who dares wins. Nothing ventured, nothing gained. We have libraries full of maxims talking about glorious risks, and yet we often dump on people and organizations who do so and don't produce the results we think they should. Samsung took a risk on the original Note and it paid off big. Recently, they took a risk on the Galaxy Fold with mixed results. And now we have the Galaxy Z Flip. Is it worth the risk for you to buy? Watch as the answer to that question unfolds right before your very eyes. Hey, if any of these videos helped you make a decision either way, please hit that thumbs up, hit that subscribe, and that notification bell so that you'll get all the latest updates when we post content. Yes, unfolds before, yeah, corny. Corny is HE double hockey sticks. What are we in the third grade here? Well, I thought it was a hey. All right, we're back. Hello, we're back. Right then, the Galaxy Z Flip. I'm just gonna get right to it. This phone is dope. It is not for everyone though. Is it for you? Maybe. I mean, I think everyone should have one, though not just yet. Much like I thought everyone should have a 70-inch OLED TV when I saw one at a private booth tour at CES years ago. These panels, though, were much too pricey for the average consumer, but as all things do, in time the prices come down and the dope tech becomes dorm tech. Inexpensive tech to send your kid off to college with, but that's then. Let's get back to now. The Z Flip simultaneously evokes all the feels of old school flip phones without leaving you having to click a number button 3 times just to punch out one letter for a text message. No, this is a conventional smartphone with conventional smartphone awesomeness. It has all the bells and whistles you'd expect. A beautiful 6.7-inch dynamic AMOLED Infinity Flex HDR10 Plus display, front-facing hole-punch 10-megapixel camera on that main display side, but when closed, you'll get the cover display, which has a 1.1-inch 300 by 112 Super AMOLED display. We'll come back to that in a bit. On the right side of the phone is the fingerprint sensor and volume rocker. No Bixby button on this phone. Bottom of the phone is where there's a USB-C port, mono speaker, and microphone. Being the son of a mother who was at one time an esthetician, honestly, the first thing I thought of when I saw the phone in person was a makeup compact. Seriously. This glossy folder looked like something very familiar, and yet it wasn't an old school folding phone that first came to mind. It was indeed makeup. If that's intentional, it's a heck of a hook to appeal to 50% of the buying public for whom that might be of interest. In Samsung's own marketing materials, they reference just how easily this device fits in pockets of purses. I'm thinking of women who go out and may wear attire with no pockets and use a clutch. For them, a compact device like this is goals, I'd imagine. Speaking of goals, one thing this phone has achieved, which I haven't quite experienced to this degree, is its level of lack of friction. The phone chassis is so smooth that if I sit on my bed and place the phone several inches away from me, it will slide down to me. If there's the slightest angle on any surface you set this phone on, it will slide. You're definitely going to want to put a case on this phone. It's just as slippery in hand. The case it comes with in the box does a better job of being a bit more tacky, but not a bunch. I definitely check out one of the leather cases Samsung has to offer. Now, what you have in the Galaxy Z Flip really is a cool piece of new technology. It's a leap forward, it's a risk, and it isn't perfect, but what is? The display is beautiful, but one of the things you'll notice as you swipe up and down and scroll pages is the crease at the center of this thin glass screen. This is what you trade in this first generation product. That, and just when you've gotten used to an in-display fingerprint sensor on Samsung phones, this one does not include one. That said, Face Unlock is consistently fast and almost error-free, as is the side fingerprint scanner / power button. The other very consistent part of this first gen product is what Samsung calls the hideaway hinge. You can open up the Galaxy Z Flip to a variety of angles and it'll sit up on its own. Samsung has actually created some software tweaks which take advantage of this. Let's start with the camera. It's a Samsung camera, and as such, you're gonna get very solid pictures out of this phone, but the difference here is you get a built-in tripod. Well, okay, maybe more of a stand. Since the phone folds, that leaves you more options to get hands-free photos if you find a place tall enough to set your phone on if you're not sitting at a table. And since you can sit the phone down or lay it on its side, you'll get your vertical or horizontal photos and video. Now, if you need some height, you're still going to need to have that tripod or have to consider the infamous selfie stick, but I know you're a creative lot and you can figure this out, sans pole. Flex mode also takes advantage of this folder's folding prowess by placing the photo controls at the southern pole of your phone. You'll notice that when you have the phone sitting on the tabletop for a selfie, that the controls don't sit in the middle of the screen like they would if you had a standard smartphone, but when you fold the phone, the controls actually automatically adjust to sitting at the bottom of the screen. This is the only app which actually does that. Nice flex, Samsung. Another feature which takes advantage of the hideaway hinge and thin folding glass is multi-active window, a feature we first saw on the Note line. With your device folded or unfolded though, you can split your display into two and multitask to your heart's content. Although this isn't specifically for the folder per se, it doesn't auto-adjust like the camera app does. Considering the form factor, there are some handy use cases here, like video conferencing from the top half while having some notes open in the bottom half. And I'm sure you can imagine a bunch of others. And you know what's in the top and bottom halves? Batteries. The phone's batteries support fast charging, both with wired and wireless charging, along with wireless power share. And I have to say that despite how thin they made this phone, when it is fully open, which ultimately was a sacrifice on battery size, with the Z Flip carrying a 3300 milliamp hour battery, it was taking me 5 hours of screen on time to kill the phone. Now, that's a hard day's use for me, so on average, I was getting a whole day's worth of use out of the phone with closer to 3 hours screen on time. I think though that the most compelling part of this phone is not what it is today, but what it will be tomorrow. Right now, this technology is new and I'm sure not easy to manufacture given the complexity of its parts, but as time passes and process simplifies and materials advance, we'll see the prices of products like these come down. And despite Samsung marketing just how pocketable this phone is, it will be even more pocketable when the cost of ownership is more pocketbook friendly. Now let me be clear, I absolutely adore this form factor. I love the fact that I can have a near 7-inch screen in something that folds up as small as a wallet I used to keep in my back pocket. That is until I recognized the hip issues that was giving me and started carrying my wallet in my front pocket sidebar. How many of you who carry a wallet have moved to carrying your wallet in a front pocket and not in your back pocket? Holler at me in the comments below, but I digress. Much like those pants pockets, the utility of a phone like this is undeniable. It's just that the steep cost is as well for most people. So, would I recommend this phone? Depends on who you are. Early adopter? Sure. Someone trendy on the cutting edge? Absolutely. The average guy or gal living near paycheck to paycheck? I generally tell that buyer to wait a generation so that any bugs and kinks can be worked out, and you'll get a product that will get you your money's worth and last you a good amount of time, and this is no different. Thanks to what Samsung learned from the Galaxy Fold, I think the Z Flip is a phenomenal device and a line with phenomenal potential. I can't wait to see what the Z Flip 2 improves on this first gen unit. Personally, I'd like to have back under the display the fingerprint sensor and the telephoto camera back into the mix. Hey, we don't take it lightly that you've taken the time to watch with us, especially during this COVID lockdown that many of us are in. So we appreciate you. We appreciate you here at reviews.org. I'm Tshaka Armstrong. Catch you on the next one.